this lecture, I want us to take a few minutes and talk about the official typeface in iOS and if you should use it. If you're in a hurry, the answer's no, and I'll explain why that's the case in a minute. Before we get to that, a quick presentation. San Francisco is system typeface in iOS. According to Apple, this font family is optimized to give your text unmatched legibility, clarity, and consistency. I agree, it looks fantastic and most people love its look. You can download it from developer.apple.com/fonts and you'll get a file with the .dmg extension. In case you're on a Windows machine, no worries, you can use a free program called 7-zip to extract it. Just right-click it, even though it looks like an unrecognizable file type, and choose Extract. Inside the folder, you'll get a bunch of other ones, so you might be inclined to use my Google Fonts technique. That is to search for .ttf to reveal all the fonts from this location. Thing is, that won't work as this file type has a different extension, .otf. Nevertheless, you can easily install these fonts on your system. When you fire up Photoshop or Adobe XD, don't start typing SAN because you won't find it that way. You have to write SF and that will reveal the font list. You might notice you have a lot to choose from. You have the regular version and also a condensed one. Condensed simply takes up less space by limiting the roundness of the letters. Besides multiple styles ranging from ultralight to black, you also get versions based on context, display and text. Display is best used for bigger text elements like titles and headlines, so items that are bigger than 20 points. In case you need smaller values, the text version is better suited. This means items like small labels, text buttons, and things of that nature. The level of detail that Apple has put into this typeface is amazing. I'd need an entire chapter just to scratch the surface. To illustrate my point, I'll open up an official UI kit which shows the recommended sizes depending on the device type. We'll only focus on the default column, which is large. Here, let's have a quick look. The biggest title is written in SF Pro Display. Makes sense, we just talked about how this is the recommended version for text layers that are bigger than 20 points. In this case, this is rocking 34. Okay, nothing special. But look what's underneath. These are not random numbers. We have a custom letter spacing of 0.39 and a specific line height value, 41. But if you move down, you can see the next one has different values. SF Pro Display 28 points, but with a letter spacing of 0.36 and a line height of 34. But these are the values if you use the regular version. See these numbers and letters here? R means regular, L stands for light, B for baseline. What's overwhelming is that each entry has these custom values. Want body text? That's no longer SF Display. That's San Francisco Pro Text, 17 points with a letter spacing of -0.41. As for the line height, that's 22. All these intricate details make Apple devices look fantastic. Typography is one of the best tools in our designer war chest, and the guys at Apple took it seriously. But let's stop the hype here because I can distill it into one phrase. San Francisco is an amazing typeface and Apple has done a fantastic job with it. But now, why shouldn't you use it? We've established it's great, so why aren't I recommending it? Well, I might get in trouble for this, I might get a ton of angry messages, but here it is. Using the official typeface is like wearing clothes from H&M. That's the gigantic company that has stores in just about every country in the world. Am I saying their clothes are bad? No, not at all. I think you get amazing value for money. Good quality, great designs, nice fitting, you name it. The problem with it is that everybody's wearing their clothes because of those qualities. Your app has to stand out. When you're using an official typeface, whether it's Roboto on the Android side or San Francisco on iOS, it feels like you're missing a big opportunity. Use a specific typeface that transmits something that's in tune with your app's feeling. Imagine if Duolingo used San Francisco or Roboto. How would that have looked? Terrible, of course. Typefaces are used to send out a vibe. You could even go as far as to say they reflect the app's soul. When you use something cold like San Francisco, you're missing the mark. I'm not saying there isn't a place for it. I know people are accustomed to it and the feeling towards it is very positive. But if you use San Francisco according to this guide, you'll strip away a large part of your freedom. Your color scheme, your icons, they all have to match that style. And unless you're designing apps purely for the tech sector, well, then you're in trouble. There's a reason why most design galleries like UpLabs, Behance and Dribbble don't feature tons of entries that use San Francisco. That's because we've seen it done 1,000,000 times by Apple. And their execution is always impeccable. When you try to use it, if you stray away even a little bit from the official guide, then you're in trouble. People sense these small differences. They don't recognize them consciously, but they know that in their calendar app, that title looked a bit different than in yours. It seems the same, but it's somehow different in a bad way. So as an instructor, I couldn't let you put yourself under such a huge amount of pressure. The bar is set very high by Apple when it comes to using San Francisco. With other typefaces, you have room to hide your mistakes. With this guide, you don't. To wrap it up, I want to continue my metaphor with H&M. I have a bunch of white t-shirts from them because, like I said, they're great value for money. I like their quality and their stores are everywhere. But when I'm wearing their plain white t-shirts, I always have something else on. A leather jacket, a nice watch, maybe a necklace thingy, some cool jeans, whatever. That's because the white t-shirt isn't the star of the show. It's not a centerpiece. When it comes to an app, typography is supremely important. I've said it 1,000,000 times. As app designers, we don't have a lot of options. Icons, typography, custom graphics, and a few other things that you can count on one hand. So show off with a carefully picked typeface that matches the app's vibe. Don't use an official typeface. Okay, I'll see you soon.